guys, so I'm coming to you with couldn't think of my words there, my top picks for drugstore eyeshadow palettes. So what I'm going to give you, I did a video of my favorite high-end eyeshadow palettes, and those were specific palettes, like specific palettes that I just love, that were my favorites. With this video, there aren't a lot of specific palettes that are my favorites. I barely have any like specific palettes that I am just die-hard ultimate favorites. However, there are brands that put out consistently good palettes, and I have 3 here, all very, very inexpensive in the drugstore, and I just thought I'd share that with you guys. The reason for picking, or the what's the word? Criteria, or the reason why I picked these 3 brands is simply because they are consistent in their quality of shadows. Consistent than many others. With that being said, is that where we are? Is that where we are with this? Yeah, so I just have 3 brands that I want to share with you. So the first brand that puts out consistently good quality eyeshadows is NYX. Consistently meaning like 99, 95, let's do 95% of their shadows and their palettes that they put out are wonderful, okay, in terms of quality. Everyone's color preferences are different. My favorite from NYX would have to be the NYX Ultimate palettes. These were kind of weird because they disappeared from websites and everything, like NYX website, Ulta's website, now they're back. It was very, very weird. But anyway, my favorite of the NYX Ultimates, there are 4 of them. My favorite is actually this one here called Cool Neutrals, okay? So what these are 16 shadow palettes. They run about 18 bucks, so still, I guess, a decent price. They run about 18 bucks. Okay, and you get these, again, just cool neutrals. You can make a really nice, cool, smoky eye down there. Then you have your top row of light neutrals there. They have 4 of them. The other ones are, excuse me, smoky and highlight. Very pretty, very pretty. Warm neutrals, which is came out perfect timing with all the warm palette craze. This is a lovely drugstore option for anyone. Warm neutrals. And then you have the brights. I did a review on these 4 palettes, so I'll link that down below. It's a while ago. And these are the brights. Super pigmented, super concentrated shades. I think 3 in here are labeled as like pressed pigments. Yes. To give you those bright, beautiful looks in the drugstore. The drugstore is not really well known for having like pigmented, bright shades, but that NYX Ultimate palette really changed the game. So NYX as a whole, very, very good eyeshadows. If you're looking for quality palettes, I would definitely lean towards NYX in the drugstore, as well as these other 2. The next one is even a little bit cheaper than NYX, and that is Wet n Wild. Yeah, getting framed. Wet n Wild. I have a palette here. I have over 40 Wet n Wild eyeshadow palettes here. You have the, let's see, the classic. Come on, get out of the drawer. The classic 3-pan ones. This is the 8-pan one. And then you have the 5, the 6-pan ones. They come out with limited edition ones. I haven't seen any Wet n Wild eyeshadow little palettes in a while. The quality is one of the best in the drugstore. Okay, you're talking on par with your Urban Decays and your different things such as that. This is the Comfort Zone. This is a cult favorite. Okay, Wet n Wild is famous for impressing, like where they suggest these shades go. Of course, you don't have to follow those rules. Where they suggest these shades go on your eye, which could help a beginner. Again, you have the 3-pan ones that can give you a complete look with just 3 shades. The quality is there. The pigmentation is there. The price is right. These retail for about $2.99, while these are $4.99. You cannot beat it. And they have Wet n Wild has a few individual shadows, but they mainly are known for their palettes, their trios, their trios and their 8-pan palettes and things like that. And they have a plethora of choices for you to choose from. Check their website. I'm actually going to link Wet n Wild's website down below, and you can catch these on sale in the drugstore. 50% off, buy one get one, 50% off, 40% off for amazing palettes. You definitely can build your palette collection just on Wet n Wild. Just on Wet n Wild. And then finally, this one's even cheaper than Wet n Wild, and I have a soft place in my heart for this company in these eyeshadows specifically, because when I was in high school, I loved eyeshadow. I didn't know anything about eyeshadow primer. I didn't even know that was a thing. And I would pack these eyeshadows on my lids and they would stay pigmented and bright and neon. I played volleyball and I played softball, like through sports, through sweating, would not move. I didn't blend them correctly or anything like that, but people just love my bright eyeshadow. And I would just only use these eyeshadows because they were cheap and they worked for me. And that is LA Colors. I'm holding in my hand now specifically the 5 color metallic eyeshadow in teas. I've gone through about 5 or 6 or 7 of these in my career. Like, I would go through one of these probably a semester. Just packing on these eyeshadows. Let me go ahead and swatch with the doe foot applicator because that's what I use to put them on. So here's the blue. Put on some pink too. Like, look at these. I was doing it. The quality is there. Again, if you're building a palette collection, I definitely recommend LA Colors. You can find LA Colors in your local beauty supply store. I don't know if, no, Ulta sells LA Girl, not LA Colors. You can also find them in Dollar Tree. You can find a lot of palettes in Dollar Tree. I actually recently just purchased some more new palettes from LA Colors that I found in the Dollar Tree. I'm going to do a video on those. But definitely, they have many, I don't know why I didn't show you all of them. They have many options. This is just some of the LA Colors palettes that I have. They're all different. They have, let me see. They have trios. They have 12-pan palettes. Now they have the newer 4-pan, the matte eyeshadow palettes for $1. They have them on, what is that website? Shop Miss A or iCade House, that dollar website as well. You cannot beat it for the price, okay? They're not as, let's say, smooth or easy to blend as, let's say, a little rock or something. However, they work just as well. And yeah, I just remember my eyes. It's just so nostalgic when I pull this out, man. Yeah, so I recommend LA Colors. Definitely try LA Colors. There's plenty other drugstore brands, but as far as like OG from like day one when I got into makeup, my favorite brands that made eyeshadow palettes in the drugstore. Now granted, drugstores don't make super large palettes as much. I know L'Oreal came out with some nude palettes that actually weren't all that, but drugstore palettes and different things, they're not very large, so they're very few and far between. So when I find like a palette where I have multiple shades in one that's decent quality, I'm going to remember that. But yeah, you guys, that's my selection of favorite drugstore eyeshadow brands, or eyeshadow palette brands. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns about any of the products mentioned in the video, feel free to leave them down below. I love you all, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.